Oh my goodness, the frustration last night and this morning was crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. The feeling of just, ugh! Why doesn't it work? Why isn't it? Why can't I just align all this? Why? Which is really interesting considering yesterday's video, which was like, hey, all the jigsaw pieces have come together. I know who I am now. And there was this energy I was talking about yesterday of kind of like, right, I know who I am now. Let's do this thing. Let's get this thing started. And then as the day went along yesterday, the frustration was building and building and building because it in effect appeared that I couldn't, the jigsaw pieces of who I have become between winter solstice and summer solstice, totally there, get them. But the jigsaw pieces about how I live this life and how I live from this place of who I am now to live a life that I want to live, those jigsaw pieces feel messy and uncomfortable and frustrating. So this morning, I was getting ready for my normal day. I had already decided, so yesterday morning, when I go in the gym, it is an early start for me. And I'd not slept very well on Sunday night. I'd had my early start. Honestly, at 7:30 last night on the sofa, watching Dutton's Ranch, I was struggling to stay awake. So we went to bed reasonably early last night, like an hour earlier than normal. And I think I was literally asleep like that. I woke up once during the night, but rolled over, fell back asleep. By the time I'd gone to bed last night, I'd already decided that today was probably not a gym day. I'm easing myself into that routine. It doesn't have to be, I am in the routine and everything straight away. We ease into it. My body has to get used to it, all that kind of stuff. So I'd already decided that this morning there was going to be no alarms. I was just going to wake up kind of like when I woke up. And of course that kind of left me feeling behind and running behind, and things weren't happening as they should. I didn't go in the gym. I didn't do any of my connection work. My focus was on getting on live while I was doing my makeup, but there was something that was just like stopping me. And this is what I mean about living an energy-led life. It is messy. It's messy because you're following the energy. And not that it sends you around kind of like, go this way and go that way and then go this way and go back there. It's not that. It's that we are so conditioned and we have so many beliefs that are constantly pushing us to do certain things that we overrule the initial energy. So yesterday, as an example, I had decided that today was the day, everything was getting started. I was doing everything today. And I was going to be living that, I live an energy-led life, but I was going to really be in it. So all the practices, all the things, everything, I was going to start, all these things that have been whizzing around my mind that I want to bring into my life, that I want to do, blah, blah, blah. What's stopping me? I'm doing them all today. And my mindset of it's Monday, it's the first day after solstice, it's a new chapter, I'm going for this hell for leather, I'm doing everything today because what's stopping me? Why shouldn't I? That mindset, which is a very hustle mindset and a very human doing mindset, maybe potentially a generator mindset, whatever. I'm not even bringing human design into this today. This is literally just energy. All that mindset did was push me down a pathway where I literally overruled the energy around me, the energy within me. I didn't really focus on the energy within me and the energy around me because I was too busy ticking the boxes on all the tasks that I thought would mean that I lived an energy-led life. And then by the time I got to the end of the day, I was so frustrated, so fed up, so bitter about the day and how it had gone, and the fact that I still wasn't bringing these things into my life, that I was just so frustrated and tired. Now, when I step back and I look at that and I step out of that, must get this done, must get all these things done, that mindset that we get ourselves into, or that I get myself into. If I was your coach, your guide, your mentor, and you came to me with all that, what would I say? You were out of alignment. You didn't follow the energy. You followed your mind. You didn't follow your energy. Your energy was, I didn't sleep very well last night. I woke up every 2 hours. I've gone in the gym. I don't even remember, right? This is the most bizarre thing. I got up, I came downstairs, I made my green tea, I sat down, I did my meditations and my connections, and I hardly remember them. Even being in the gym, I hardly remember what I did in the gym, which is crazy. Anyway, my point being is I overruled the energy yesterday. And by the end of the day, I was feeling discomfort, dis-ease, frustration, bitterness, all the things. And I went to sleep on that energy. Fine. What happened then? I woke up still in that energy. So I was still in that energy this morning. I was still feeling frustrated. I was still feeling behind. I was still questioning, how can I come on YouTube and say, hey, I'm the energy-led woman, when I'm not being led by the goddamn energy? I mean, I am, but it sometimes takes me a while to maybe the energy is a reflection sometimes rather than an in-the-moment thing, which is kind of what happened yesterday. Anyway, so today, Gonna plan to go live. Want to talk about what my theme of the day is. So I have a theme of the day every day. And I, in my head, have brought that into my YouTube video diary. In that, that's what I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to talk about my theme of the day every day. But this morning, at 7 o'clock, I was in a frustrated energy, and the way that I overcome that and the way that I have to process that is by speaking. Because when I speak, I hear my truth, I hear my direction. I say this all the time, I am a self-projected projector. You might get your truth in a different way. Your strategy and your authority in human design is such a key piece to understanding yourself, understanding how you work and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so obviously there's other key pieces, but this is, it's a strong kind of factor in feeling aligned, in tuning into your energy. So I want you to speak this morning. And I stopped myself speaking this morning because I had told myself that today is Tuesday. Today is root chakra. It's health. It's body. That's what today is. Now, the reason I have a theme of the day every day is so that I can lean into it. So that I can, we're constantly evolving, constantly growing, constantly learning new stuff, constantly changing, constantly improving, maybe declining, whatever it might be, we're constantly shifting. And the reason I have a theme of the day is 2 reasons. 1, what chakra is it? Let's work on that chakra. Let's make sure that chakra is clear. Let's make sure that chakra is balanced. 2, what life theme links to that chakra? So today, health and body. Let's take a moment today to reflect on where I am and what growth has happened in the last week since last Tuesday. That's the purpose of me having those daily themes. It's like a tracking mechanism, a documenting mechanism. It's not so that I only speak about those things today, which is kind of where I'd ended up. So the fact that I wanted to talk about and work through my frustrations, however, I have set up a little schedule here on YouTube which is my place for processing, it's the place where I talk about this stuff, meant that I felt like I couldn't talk this morning, which is so silly. But these are the kind of rules that we put around ourselves in general day-to-day life. This is a place that is for my processing. It's my sounding board. It's where I speak. This is not, I am not here to create content around certain topics. I'm here to feel what energy is brewing and process it on a daily basis. And creating those themes have sent me off on a bit of a strange tangent. And I need them, but I need them for something different to what this is. So this whole thing has been percolating and processing and coming through. And there's part of me that's like kicking myself because I'm here and I am the energy-led woman and I'm living an energy-led lifestyle, but I am nearly 50 years old. And for most of those 50 years, I have been taught how to live a mind-led lifestyle, a logical-led lifestyle, not an energy-led lifestyle. And even though I am so much better at this than what I used to be, even though I am so much more aligned to what I used to be, there are still times where the mind takes over and the mind leads me. And what would have happened in the past is that would have lasted a lot longer. What's happened this time, or the gap's getting shorter, you know? So instead of spending 2 or 3 days trying to push and trying to do the things and trying to push through and get through all the things that I want to do, it's lasted a matter of hours. Because I noticed the frustration yesterday evening. So yesterday there were other lessons that also came through. So by the end of the day, I had already kind of started going, I see that happened to stop me going down that pathway, so now I need to go that way. Oh, that happened and that was really annoying, but it's opened this door up and I see that now. That happened and that's just taken a massive weight off me because that was weighing me down. And so there was a load of things yesterday, but I was still feeling frustrated. Now, one of the things that really frustrated me was not logging any of that anywhere. And this is the really kind of like random thing. Not random. It's not random. It's so my presence here on YouTube, my presence on Instagram, my presence across any of these platforms, as I said yesterday, is purely to support me. So if I feel that there's a load of stuff that I want to log because these are things that I need to remember, it's not remember. When I speak things out loud, I hear my truth, I find my direction. So that means that when I go through lessons and things come up for me like yesterday, what I know from my pattern already, what I know from tracking myself, from understanding myself, from learning about myself, from learning about the energy within me, is that these things can just disappear if I don't anchor them by speaking them. And this is one of the reasons why I have all these different platforms, because each one serves a different purpose. And what I should have done last night is anchor those lessons. But I didn't. So the frustration rolled over to today. No, what I should have done is anchor those lessons, because right now I can't remember what they were. They've gone. The lesson came down, I didn't grab it, so it's disappeared again. It'll come back round. The lessons will come back round. There was definitely a lesson in there about Oh, so interesting, actually. There was definitely a lesson that came through, which was about stop kind of forcing a pathway. Allow the pathway to evolve. And now that I'm saying that, I'm like, you see, that lesson was about so much stuff that was going on Monday, going on yesterday. The fact that I was ticking all these things off and not really paying attention to my energy. I was forcing myself down a pathway rather than allowing the pathway to evolve. There were 2 or 3 lessons like that yesterday, interestingly. Had I have said those out loud last night and tracked them and logged the lessons somehow, TikTok, which is where I have in my head, that's where the sparks go, or Instagram for the who I was at the start of the day to who I am now. If I had have grabbed that, then maybe I wouldn't be feeling how I'm feeling today. But I woke up this morning thinking that I cannot create the energy-led lifestyle that I want to create. First of all, as soon as I say that word nowadays, create, not here to create. You know, I want to say, I want to create a life that I love. I love my life, but I want to create a life that I love even more. I want to create a more abundant life. I want to create myself into being this. No, I don't create. I'm a projector. I'm not here to create. You might be, but I'm not. You know? Okay, well, I want to build this on YouTube. I want to build this on Instagram. I want to build this in my life. No, I'm not a builder. I'm not here to build. I'm here to feel the energy and guide the energy and be guided by the energy, I suppose. You know? The projector is meant to be about the other. You know, the projector, we have the pointed aura. It connects and grabs onto your G center, so I know exactly who you are. And I can use that information to help you feel your truth when we work one-on-one. Which I'm not doing right now, by the way. I don't do any of that right now. Because when you go down the route of a self-projected projector, then there is this, especially when it's linked to my G center, which that is a self-projected projector, girl, but I need to speak from who I am, not from who you are, from who I am, from my experiences, from my identity. I need to speak from here. And there's more stuff in my human design that makes my design particularly pretty selfish, really. It's about me. My design is about me. What you get from this is a byproduct of me focusing on me, which is a bit crazy. Anyway, learned that a hard way. Where am I even going? What am I even talking about? I'm not here to build. I'm not here to create. I'm here to almost allow life, you know? That's what I remember, that Ra-Uru, who, I always find his name really difficult to say, said this: the projector isn't here to, what did he say? He said something like life comes to the projector, and he likened it to like waves on a shore. You know, I'm just sat on the shore and the waves of life come to me. And I go, okay, let's go with that one. Let's go with that one. Like surfing the waves, riding the waves. I think that's what he said. Something about riding the waves. Life comes to me. I don't go after life. Life comes to me. And it comes to me from me being in alignment. And that's where I'm kind of focusing a lot of my energy at the moment. I want to get myself into this super aligned place. Aligned with my energy. I want to be intentional. I want to be scripting about the things that I want to create within my life. I want to be scripting about how I want to feel about life so that the waves come to me. And the frustrations I have around not anchoring in this energy-led lifestyle right now. I can see that I have tools to solve those, but I'm not using them right now. Or I'm using some, but not using all. So let me give you an example. So I don't have time in my life right now to do the preemptive intentional work. I don't have time in my life to take 10 minutes back and tune into the frequency before I act on something. Or at least I tell myself I don't have time in my life. However, when we do step back and be present and set intentions and stand in the energy and sort the frequency out before we move forward, trust me, the day stretches. So on the one hand, I'm kind of going, oh my God, I really want to bring these things into my life. I want to use these tools to get myself more in alignment so that more opportunities, abundance, and everything else comes to me, like the waves on the sand, on the seashore. But then on the other hand, I'm going, but I don't have time to do it because I'm too busy doing the human stuff. And there's too much of the human stuff to do that I can't step back and spend that 10 minutes sorting out my frequency. But if I just spent 10 minutes sorting out my frequency, and it would slow down time so I would have more time to do the things that I want to do. It's crazy. That's where I am today. Yes, I want to talk about my health. Yes, I want to talk about my body. Yes, I want to lean into that frequency. When am I going to do it? I don't know. Because I'm caught up in this, do it, get it done, get it done. And it started yesterday. And it's doing a job, doing a 9 to 5 is a time suck. It sucks you in. There's constant emails to answer to, there's constant deadlines, there's constant this person wants you, that person wants you, you're in meetings, you don't get 2 minutes, you don't get 2 minutes between meetings, you need to, you get away from your computer for half an hour for a sandwich and you're just like, whoa, brain's just too much, then you finally let everything out of your brain and then you're back at work and you do it all again for another 4 hours. It's crazy when you think about it. And we're doing that and we're ticking things off so that things get done when actually we are much more powerful than just what we do. So what is the result that we're wanting? What frequency are we in? Are we expecting that thing to happen? You know, if you've got a project on, what's the outcome of the project? What do you want the end result of the project to be? Are you on the frequency that allows it? Are you a match to that frequency? Or are you in this zone of, we're behind, we've just got to get things done, Because if you're in that zone, then that result isn't going to happen. You need to get up here so that you're on the same wavelength. Anyway, that was kind of kick-ass to myself, wasn't it there? So anyway, this is where I am today. I have come to the conclusion that I am releasing my themed days. My themes will be something that comes through during the processing that I'm going to try and do in the morning as I'm putting my makeup on. Let's see if we get to that. They are something that I am going to process and they will probably crop up because they may be on my mind. However, to live an energetically led life means to be in the energy. So I am, whatever energy is coming through me each morning, that is what I'm going to talk about because that is what this is. This is processing what is on here in the moment, not ignoring that so that I can process this that I've told myself I want to process because it's a Tuesday. And if you want to see other bits and pieces, I mean, this is YouTube. There will be shorts, but I am going through this process of, it's a reasonably new process, my understanding. I've been understanding this for a few months, that my social media, my platforms, where I show up in the world as a recorded video or a recorded voice or whatever it might be, is for me to process something in some way, shape or form. And as I have come up against, I need to share this somewhere, I need to share this somewhere, why aren't I documenting this somewhere? It has created what my platforms are there for, and my understanding of how to use these platforms a little bit more. And also, there is an element of trust here, because am I doing this with an intention of building followers on all my areas? No. But I'm open to that, you know? If a wave wants to crash into shore that has 100 followers on it, then I'm open to that. But I am not chasing algorithms or growth, because the only people that I want in my world are people who get this and understand this, or are excited by this, you know? I don't need the people in my world who want to poo-poo this, or not because I'm not open to other perspectives, because I am, and other perspectives open up new information for us. But what I mean is, you know, I don't need to chase an algorithm and do a trending reel to get all the people who are interested in that trending reel. What I want is, I want people who are interested in what I have to say. So what am I trying to say? I'm not doing this to generate growth. I'm doing this predominantly for me. You've heard me say this already. Sounding blocks, self-projected projector, all that stuff. I'm doing this predominantly for me. And if you resonate with what I'm saying, then I welcome you here. And if you find what I'm saying interesting, I welcome you here, because that is, you are invited into my world. I invite you in. If you, let's use some human design talk, if you recognize a value in what I'm saying and what I'm sharing, then I invite you into my world. And there's different levels of my world you can be in. But I don't generate these videos with an intention of growing an audience. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to process me. I'm here to process my thoughts, to process who I am, to process all that stuff. And I'm still settling into, well, that, instead of ignoring it and letting it flow away, this lesson that you've just had today, document it somewhere, Gail. It's a TikTok, document it, you know? If I've done some scripting, I've written a story about a future point in my life, or even a past point in my life, if I'm releasing that, then that's probably going to end up on Substack. If I'm looking back at my theme of the day, what did I believe? Who was I last week when it came to health and body, and who am I today? And what's the difference and what's changed? That's probably going to end up on Instagram, because each little place has its purpose. So ultimately, where I am today, I realise now that trying to go hell for leather yesterday did not serve me in any way, shape or form. I also realised that there are things that I still need to feel into. So an example might be, I said to you, I got up, I did my cleanse, I did my chakra activation, I did my connections. I don't really remember doing any of them because I was still kind of clearly half asleep. But they took me half an hour, right? Now, do I need to do those as separate entities? Probably not. The cleanse can be done when I'm in the shower. The chakra activation can be done when I'm in the shower. You know, the tuning into frequencies, don't know, I've not felt into that yet. So what I'm trying to say is, my way and my desire and the way that I want to align to an energy-led life is not this, I have these spiritual tasks that I have to fit into my day, from meditation to this to that. It's merging the two. That's where I came to this morning when I was working my way through this without speaking. You know, when I'm in the shower, I can do things. When I'm making food, I can do things? Am I putting intentions into this? Am I putting intentions into my work? Am I putting intentions into anything that I'm doing during the day? Because